Yes, we're good.
Now call order the committee of the whole for May 20th, 2024, time 7 p.m. Ben, would you please call the roll?
Member Wyrick?
Here.
Member Owens?
Here.
Member McLeister?
Here.
Member Shoria?
Here.
Member Matheny?
Here.
5 present. And we lost.
Motion to excuse member Warren and member Orr.
Oh, we lost 5.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Votes? Okay, at this time, council invites Destiny Hirschberger to the floor to be sworn in as a full-time firefighter EMT for the North Canton Fire Department.
It is a great evening tonight that we have our firefighters, paramedics, EMS members, personnel. Drew Kramer, thank you for joining us tonight to have the opportunity of swearing in of a full-time firefighter, paramedic for the City of North Canton Fire and EMS Department. It is hereby ordered that Destiny Hirschberger be sworn in as a full-time firefighter, paramedic for the City of North Canton Fire and EMS Department. So Destiny, please raise your right hand. Please say aye and state your name. And now repeat after me. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear.
to support the Constitution of the United States, this Constitution of the State of Ohio, and the Charter, ordinances, and resolutions of the City of North Canton, Ohio, and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of a full-time firefighter, paramedic for the North Canton Fire and EMS Department. This I do, as I shall answer unto God. Congratulations, full-time firefighter, paramedic. I want to thank all the co-workers of our fire and EMS departments for being here to support this very special day for this young lady, but also for firefighter, paramedic status. Nothing's complete until we sign this form, okay? So, do you have anything that you'd like to share with you or any other family that you have with you tonight or your firefighter family?
All of them are family, and I can't thank all of you enough for getting me this far, so.
Okay, very good. Well, Chief, another good addition to our firefighter paramedic service. So with that, let's adjourn over here and get your papers signed. And I want to thank everybody for what you do. It's a tremendous profession.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sign in for the
Next meeting,
Oh.
wrong meeting.
Okay. Once again, thank you very much for our fire department to turn out like this and support this. And I wish you all the best with your career, fire service,
Thank you.
paramedic service. So thank you very much. President Stroya, I return the floor back to you. I want to thank again Chief Kramer and everybody. Thank you for your support tonight. Thank you. Safe work.
Thank you.
We're going to return to training, so do this as we
It says emergency.
Gary, open.
An alarm will not sound if you want to speak up.
If it does, they're here.
Yeah, right. We're in good hands. Okay, so let's move on. So we're going to talk about the discussion of emergency dispatching here. So at the request of council, the administration, and finance, they're going to be performing a time study and evaluating available options for dispatch. And the proposal will be finalized to allow for preparation of the agreement. So there's going to be a motion to postpone, but that's something for discussion.
I think what's important is allowing administration time and finance time to
Dave,
put together
I think what's important is allowing administration.
finance, put together the time study so that they can show us what duties and tasks are performed outside dispatch, the answering the phone, and dispatching EMS, fire, so that we can get a true handle on if we move this direction, what it would take to continue to supply the support that our police and fire need here at our station.
Time study goes until June 1st, May 12th and June 1st.
So is a proposal then to bring this back at a certain date? Oh, to the next committee meeting?
The next committee would be June 3rd.
Is that enough time to disseminate the information from the time study?
Any other comments? Motion to postpone item 3B until the next committee meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nice. Okay, so that will appear on the, we'll just start over. Okay, so moving on to 4A, so community and economic development. So these were all part of the public hearing. So we'll get to the first one. And this is the reclassification of the River District, 15 parcels. So let's open the floor for discussion on that. Again, the background was committee, public hearing, now back to.
I guess I'll just bring up, Mr. Foltz lives at 336 Howard, parcel number 9202118.
Say again, 9-2.
9202118, objected to his house being rezoned. I think that he would be able to continue to enjoy what he enjoys now with his current zoning. However, he does not want this, and so I guess I'm inclined to look into options for removing him from this, maybe not rezoning this parcel of business. Rezoning this parcel. Although I guess that might raise problems for some potential spot zoning.
I mean, arguably it's spot zoned right now. That property is one of 4 properties zoned R2F, and the entirety of the rest of the block is zoned industrial.
We think it's important that we make the industrial portions of this Main Street center. The complications that we provide there. Property there that has residential, but I think surrounded by industrial could create problems in the future.
I agree. I definitely want to see the industrial properties change to Main Street Center.
Well, part of the discussion of this was to have a clear boundary between industrial and residential. Do you agree that this helps create that boundary? Separation?
More than what exists today, yes. It would effectively make TAF the boundary between commercial zoning and residential zoning. The history of this block is that it was originally old century homes when Hoover first started, and then as Hoover expanded, they started buying and demolishing things, and then IRG came and bought more and demolished more, and at this point more than half the block is vacant lots zoned industrial.
Don't change that, there could be manufacturing taking place in that industrial area 24/7.
Correct. They could run a 24/7 operation if they wanted to.
Some noise issues,
Yeah.
if it was industrial.
Maybe we run three shifts, or was it just two?
They did run three, and we did at the first committee talk about how just south across Whitwer there is light manufacturing that is pre-existing,
Right.
so it is grandfathered in. But if it were to ever go away, that would revoke their light industrial, and we do get on and off complaints about the noise from the industrial from the neighbors across Taft.
Yeah.
So 4 of these are zoned residential currently.
6 parcels making up 4 properties are currently zoned R2F, so residential 2-family. That would allow up to a triplex.
Only one of the owners of those properties seems to be objecting to the change.
Yeah, I mean one of the R2F properties that I believe the next one to the east is ACY Communications. It's already a commercial use. And then the other 2 R2F properties are the remaining 2 single-family homes left on the block. Right at the corner of Howard and Taft.
Any other comments, questions? I'm going to make a motion to move this to the agenda. It's going to be 3 readings after this, so there's plenty of time to try to handle any potential changes.
So are we gonna move it as presented? Or are we talking about eliminating 336 Howard and leaving it as it is?
I don't know the ramifications of doing that, so let's move it forward as is, and then we can look into specifics between now and then. I think
Okay.
that's probably the most fair.
You made a motion, right?
Yep.
Second?
Right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So moving on to the next part. So this is the Walsh annexation. Again, started in committee, went to planning, or went to planning commission, public hearing, and now back to us. So, open for discussion. It's pretty simple.
I think this one's pretty straightforward.
There's nothing new. There's no opposition. There's very little discussion on it. It's explained in the commission meeting and all that. So, any comments? I'll make a motion to move this to the council again.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Bless you.
Bless you. And then the third one is the screening and fencing. regulations for that. Now, there was some discussion on height of the fences going from 6 to 8,
4 to 6.
or, yeah, 4 to 6, that's right, yeah. But there was nothing, there, everything got taken care of, so I don't know that there's anything new to discuss on this.
So nothing changed after planning had the questions about the height. I'll just stay the way it was. when it went to planning.
So planning doesn't have the power to amend, only
Yeah.
you all do. So they did make a recommendation to strike the over 1 acre versus under 1 acre change, which would mean that everybody could have up to 6 feet tall, regardless of whether they're over or under 1 acre.
But as it stands, we have not amended the
Correct.
legislation.
I do have a question, and I don't know why it just struck me here, but forgive me if I don't recall what juncture this changed, but I find it interesting that the title of the ordinance specifically talks about non-vinyl fences, but the language allows vinyl fences. When did we add that back in?
This would not allow vinyl fences in Main Street Center. So vinyl fences are generally allowed in most Main Street districts, but as currently proposed, this should prohibit vinyl in Main Street South and Main Street Center.
Unless I'm reading this incorrectly, it says fences must be made out of vinyl or non-chain link metal fence except as provided by the law. So,
And then what's the except as provided by below?
all right. I even got in the way that.
Yeah, that's all right. Someone else might have had that same question. May I ask you?
Has the city discussed the pros and cons of what planning commission discussed as far as changing it from 1 acre to everybody?
I mean, the pros and cons are essentially the same as Mr. Van Gundy described them at the planning commission of that if you have a small property, the taller the fence gets, the more compound-like the property starts to feel, right? For the specific district we're talking about, there are not many smaller than 1 acre properties that would be affected. So north of Maple, it's really the Hoover district, which is all of their parcels are more than 1 acre. The school, the new Charlotte Street School, which is more than 1 acre. And then the row of Main Street that City Hall is located. So City Hall, the library, the early child care, the bank. I believe the bank is under 1 acre. I believe both banks are under 1 acre, actually. I'd have to double check that, but that's just my recollection. I believe City Hall is just over 1 acre. I believe the library with all of their properties together is just over 1 acre. The early child care center, I believe, with both of their parcels is over 1 acre. Then south of Maple, you'd have that strip that the Chamber of Commerce is in. Each of those buildings is less than 1 acre, so they'd be at the 4-foot fence or smaller. But then as you move south from them, the YMCA is over 1 acre. Both churches are over 1 acre. So that's why we said it the way we did, is that most of the property is smaller than 1 acre, and even arguably City Hall, the library, having a 6-foot fence would feel tall, would feel abnormally tall. But in contrast though, for the school district or the churches or the Hoover complex, having a 6-foot fence feels very appropriate. So it's attempting to balance the two inside one single zoning district. On the con side, it does make it more complicated to administer zoning and does limit smaller properties from potentially having the look they want.
Any other questions or comments?
Gonna make a motion to move this to the agenda.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, finance and property. So yeah, Stephanie's not here, so I'll take this over. Yeah, Jim, if you have anything.
So, yeah, we're, asking for.
Wait, Jim.
We're asking for $175,000 in appropriations to finish up the Charlotte Street Improvement Project. It'll be reimbursed 17.7%. We need to finish the project.
Did you say 100,000?
175,000.
Thank you.
Any questions, comments about this? I'll make a motion that we move this to the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, moving on to ordinance and rules. John, it's not here. Maybe.
Do you want to read the title in?
Sure. An ordinance amending Chapter 513, Drug Abuse Control, specifically Section 513.16, Medical Marijuana, of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton in order to prohibit the cultivation, processing, and sale of cannabis within the City of North Canton, Ohio.
So this is, actually it's been in the news quite a bit as the state of Ohio has reached the law's portion of this passed last November and the issuing of licenses. Those that dispense medical marijuana will get first chance at dispensing recreation marijuana. And in the ordinance, communities are allowed to make zoning laws that not allow the sale of marijuana, cannabis, either for medical and or recreational purposes. And that's what this ordinance is for. I think if you, Ben's got a map or chart maybe that will show us the voting results of passage,
Yeah, if I can add some more color first.
that would be great.
So last November, the state of Ohio in general voted to legalize adult use cannabis. Several of you shortly after that vote asked me whether or not we should consider prohibiting it, and I asked you all at that time to wait and let's see what the state rulemaking process resulted in. So the state of Ohio has announced their final rulemaking process. And so they are going to start issuing licenses for medical dispensaries this June. We don't have any medical dispensaries. They're currently outlawed in the city of North Canton. And for then for new dispensaries, so purely recreational, starting later this summer, their estimate is August. So this is our window to act on if we want to prohibit them. Now is the time to move forward. With the state's rulemaking process, they have said that dispensaries may not be within 500 feet of areas of public interest, so schools, churches, public parks, those sorts of areas. You should have all had in your packet a map that we whipped up in GIS that is our rough estimate of what our exclusion zones are with those limitations. So as you look at that map, anything that is not covered by the overlay and is either blue or red would be a potential location for a new dispensary. On top of that, dispensaries must be a minimum of 1 mile from the next closest dispensary as the crow flies. So what that means is, if you look at the map, if we put one dispensary in, say, the North Gateway, then that would probably exclude Pittsburgh on the city's west side. We did, Member Matheny asked us to pull every time there's a statewide issue, just out of curiosity. I look at how North Canton specifically votes. I do apologize. I put the wrong chart though in your packet. I put the August issue 1 chart, not the November issue 2 chart. So Liam, if you could put the issue 2 chart up on screen for us here tonight and maybe zoom in and make it bigger for us. So the city of North Canton did, by a slim margin, vote in favor of issue 2 to legalize adult use cannabis back in November. In bringing this forward, I did speak to Mayor Wilder and ask his opinion and position, and I'll let him jump in and speak for himself.
Well, thank you, Ben, for volunteering me to jump in. You know, we are a city that's open to economy and businesses. We are lucky to have 2 CBD businesses here in town that are available for people who need that type of treatment for a number of illnesses. But when it comes to the dispensaries, for the record, I'm not in favor of having a dispensary in our city. We're only about 2 square miles as the crow flies north and south and east and west. We have a small, compact community, and I just feel that there's good to have a dispensary. It could be outside or so you know. If you look at the map, there's not too many places I think that would be really acceptable for dispensary. Just from my experience, and where I come from my law enforcement background, from the opportunity that I had to be our first dairy instructor, try to educate our public, our young people about the pros and cons of drug use, legal, illegal. Just not in favor of going forward with this type of business in the city.
1 second.
Unless there's other directions from the city. I would like to try to get this in the public, and just make a statement before I saw it. Yeah. I'm sorry, that was a play on words. Anyways, my
Can we allow our
point is-
reporter to like
Yeah.
off?
Yeah,
for a
that'd be
second?
nice, thanks.
Sorry, but he's.
You need me to back up, Shannon?
Please proceed.
Make this in the public.
Didn't mean to make that, it's a joke. I just think if there's a dispensary, it could be outside our school. I have a new middle school, or we have a new middle school going in at this street here. You know, even for CBD, there's no age limit for medical use of that. But that can be set up like a business. If they want to go like a mini. I just think that for the safety and security of our own community, I understand that vote was for recreational approval, but for myself and my background, I don't see it really as an asset for our community.
I agree with all you said, Mayor. So,
Well,
sharing your
hold on a second.
personal experiences.
Sorry, she was coughing again.
I agree as well. I believe that the Ohio legislation dealt with more of a constitutional right. I don't believe that disallowing the dispensaries affects any of the 6-plant growing right, or I can't remember what the terminology was for it, but I think every resident is allowed to grow 6 plants. That doesn't affect that. So
Yes, we are not allowed to ban home
Right.
grow.
yeah, so I don't see it as a constitutional issue. I just see it as, is our community a place that wants to have marijuana dispensaries? Does that fit into the fabric of our society? I don't believe that does. Again, we're still technically a dry city, so it would be kind of gratuitous for us to do something like this.
And I think I struggle with that. Like, I don't think that our community wants a dispensary, so I'm not, going to fight to have one. I don't think it's what we need here probably, but I think as a dry city, we are not dry, obviously, and we have alcohol being sold everywhere, and so to me, there's not a huge difference, but I think the look is not the look that we want.
Any other comments or funds?
I'll make a motion to move 6A to the council agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Take a short break and then we'll start the regular meeting.
Yeah, I'm on it. Huh?
That's a good way to put it.
Final call to sign up to speak at tonight's council meeting.
Like, are you? Thank you. I just feel like it's a constant conversation.
I went over to
City Council meeting of May 20th, 2024. Time is 7:36, 6 p.m. Ben, please call the roll.
You skipped prayer and pledge.
Oh, yeah. Switch. In lieu of the opening prayer, the mayor's going to make a comment and stuff.
Yes, before we stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, just some things have come to light. And the timing of anything like this, the death of a first responder, you've probably seen and heard on radio or in the newspaper about the death of a Canton firefighter as a result of suicide. And this coincides with, this is EMS group also, that's being recognized throughout the country. Paramedics that are out there dedicated to helping us in our time of distress. And we're talking to Chief Kramer, and even for us at the police department, anytime we encounter a fellow officer, firefighter, that this affects them, it also affects us. And we also reflect upon ourselves. And even for our city, we have policies and procedures in place. And if someone is having a mental illness or needs help of some type, we have those resources that are available. And I think those of us in first responder service, and we, again, the public, we mourn for the death of someone who dies as a result of suicide. And every time that I encountered that in my law enforcement career and had to report that to the media, that there's always help. There's always the Stark County Basic Crisis, 330-452-6000. And I always try to give a resource, and sure the family is going through a time of privacy and mourning. But I just want us to take a moment and just think about those that are in your life that you've been associated with, firefighter or paramedic. But we thank them every day for what they do. And they do see another side of society that many of us don't see. And it can take a toll on us and physically. Coincidentally, this Wednesday, I'm attending the annual EMS breakfast at First Christian Church off of Hall. And I'm not sure what the tone of that will be. Part of that will be celebration of some people who have really shown extreme heroism or dedication in their performance of their job. But yes, unfortunately, there'll be mourning and paramedics. So with that being said, rest assured, Drew Kramer, Chief Kramer, has met with his personnel and have talked about this issue and reassure our people that if there is a concern for health and well-being, we are here to help them and get through whatever crisis they might be. So with that being said, just keep that in mind. When we mourn the loss of this firefighter paramedic, but we also celebrate those who are out in the line every day, 24/7, to answer the call, whatever we need. With that being said, just think about that. And let's go ahead and stand up and start our meeting with a pledge of allegiance, and then we'll go into it. Okay. Thank you for your patience.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ben, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Member Shroyer.
Here.
Member McLeeser.
Here.
Member Matheny.
Here.
Member Owens.
Here.
Member Wyrick.
Here.
5 present. Members Orr and Warren are absent.
Motion to excuse members Warren and Warren. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve as presented minutes from May 6th to May 11th.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Either Ben or Liam, will you read the preamble for public speaks?
At this time, members of the public who have signed up to address City Council will be called to do so. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes. Speakers shall be called in the order they signed up. During this section, comments shall be limited to legislative items appearing on this meeting's agenda. The rules for speaking and the speaker's time will appear on the screens. After you have finished speaking, please remain at the podium to answer questions from officials at the dais. This will serve as the final warning for all speakers. Any violation of the rules will result in ejection from the premises.
Okay, so the only speaker tonight is Brian Foltz. Brian, if you would approach the podium.
I just want to restate that I don't want my zoning to change on our
Yeah, if you could say your address too.
Brian Foltz, 336 Howard. I've stated before, I do not want my zoning to change. Keep it as is.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Foltz? Thank you. So, moving on, Ben, would you please read the title of ordinance 40-2024?
An ordinance amending Chapter 929 Storm Sewer Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of North Canton to establish a flat monthly fee to fund the stormwater system in the City of North Canton.
Utilities for rubbish.
All right, we've discussed this multiple times. This would be a way of funding the storm sewers in lieu of a new storm sewer levy. And I think we discussed last time the proposed fee of $5 or approximately thereof will go up for larger properties. Actually represents a savings compared to if we were to have a new levy. So nothing has changed. Any questions, comments? Okay. So with that, I would move that we pass ordinance 40-2024.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. No new business? Anybody have any business? No one signed up for the second. Let's move on to department reports, and let's start with Catherine.
I wanted to congratulate again Destiny Hirschberger that we swore in as a full-time firefighter. She worked for years previously in a part-time firefighter role. And a little bit of information on Destiny too, that really impressed me when I interviewed her was historically it's difficult for women to pass the physical agility test to become a firefighter. The test is no simpler for women as it is men, because obviously if you have fire at your house, so we've got to carry you out the window. You can't have a modified test. But there are some women that we've had in the past work in the fire department, and they have passed civil service, and they're definitely qualified and certified. They can't get that test. It's a time test. It has to do with strength. So Destiny is just such a bright young woman. She started a nonprofit organization that helps women interested in the firefighting field, and it helps them get them training and focus on certain areas to help them be able to pass that test. So she, it's just really neat. She and a couple other young female firefighters are just starting it small now, and they're hoping to grow the organization and see more women to the firefighting field. So I thought that was really impressive. So also next week we'll have an announcement for you on the assistant fire chief. We have finished those interviews. That position to report on next week, and as well as I think we have a couple other what Mayor said, absolutely. Our firefighters, their mental health, so important. We all know they see a lot of things we don't see. And it just breaks my heart that the gentleman in Canada passed away like 6 years. Just like I read in the paper that it's saying to his family, you know, once. And that's why we share so much about our firefighters and my work. We have the EAP employee assistance program that we promote quite frequently to them. You know, it's free, it's available, it's confidential. We promote that. Also, just wanted to say this was a great weekend in the city. If anyone came out to the 720 market, it was well attended. Beautiful. great way to kick off, pull our city in, so many people visit us, so. And if not, we have Memorial Day. So that's, the parade's happening on Monday. Both of our city park facilities, swimming pools are ready to go. Past Dogwood, it looks great. Brian Hill, Superintendent of Parks, texted me today for the water temperature. The weather is definitely helping us. Usually this time of year it's so cold, the ground is so cold, you can't get that warm, they can't get the water that warm. Opening day will be nice and warm at the pool. Arrowhead is also ready to go. Be a good weekend. That's all.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, thank you very much. Just a couple of things, no particular order. Thanks again to Amber Olds who helped oversee our senior program through the North Canton Public Library. We're going to have a picnic, and that's going to be on Tuesday. Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. And it's going to be right here at Price Park over by Fitzpatrick. And that's going to be at 12:30 for our seniors. They're going to have burgers and hot dogs and water bottles will be provided. Make sure you bring a side dish, okay, or dessert to share. And but we're looking forward to have that. And I can't thank her enough for what she does for our senior program. And just go on their website or our website actually, and you might get. Again, a business thing, a company called Ambia Energy. That's AMBIA. Shannon. They have a soliciting permit to go door to door from May 20th through the 31st. So that goes from 10 a.m. to 7 or something. Just so you all know your work. We mentioned this is the beginning of EMS week, and I'll be at breakfast there first thing at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. On the 22nd also, and working with the North Canton Middle School, we're going to do a 6th grade fishing with focus right over here at Price Park. So the 6th graders in the middle school will be coming down on that Wednesday. Hopefully it won't be raining, no tornadoes, no bad weather, but it's just a chance for them to get out. And any of you want to come down and help put worms or maggots on books and things for the kids, you're more than welcome. But it's a great experience for them, and they love working with Brian Hill, and we're going to get that stock for them. Actually, today, I think, it's getting stocked. So just that. For the Memorial Day Parade, yes. Again, that's going to be start at 9 o'clock. They'll form on the east side of North Canton High School, Hoover High School. And then they'll come down 7th Street and then go south on Main, and we'll finish right at Bitzer at the memorial there. Program will probably kick off around 10 o'clock, depending on the length. Our very own Walsh University President Tim Collins, Dr. Collins, is going to be the Grand Marshal, and he will be delivering a special message to us at the memorial service. And if you're don't know, he is a retired colonel, fighter pilot, United States Air Force, and seen quite a bit of action around the world. I think that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Jeff?
Yeah, so something exciting in the finance department. We are undertaking a intern for 5 weeks here, starting June 3rd. It's going to assist myself and our accounts payable Stacy in tracking capital assets. Currently, we track capital assets in a spreadsheet once a year or twice a year. I go through, and for audit purposes, they want to know additions and things we're disposing of and all that. So our software, our accounting software, actually allows us to track them in there, and so that's actually one of the appropriations in the past month or so you guys have approved. And so we are having an intern, Luke Sabo, from he was Ohio University, he's a junior, and he's going to be assisting us for the 5 months. So we're excited to undertake that new project and what's going on in finance.
Last week we had our first of the fire station forums, and it went pretty well. Then that was the morning session. The afternoon opportunity is this Friday at 1:30 p.m. So that's the 24th of May. And then our nighttime opportunity is that week after on Tuesday, the 28th at 5:30 p.m. All of them are right here in this wonderful Civic Center. We are working on an alternative for people who can't attend any of the three, but there's nothing like the real thing. So I encourage everyone to come see us in person, and whatever alternative PowerPoint video we come up with will not grant you the opportunity to ask questions like coming in person.
Leo?
As always, we ask the community to keep up with the water service line as we chug on towards our EPA deadline. The more we get, the better we're standing as we get closer, so that we can adopt a new, more aggressive strategy to get everything completed.
Let's go to our council reports. So Jamie.
All right, perfect. Well, as already said by Catherine, I thought 7:20 was an absolutely fantastic way to kick off our nice weather here in town. And they always do such a great job, and it's nice to see people out enjoying the community, enjoying the nice weather, and then patronizing a local business in 7:20. So that's fantastic. And I just also want to thank the mayor for sharing his comments around resources that are out there for firefighters or firefighters in the community. So that certainly was a heartbreaking thing to hear. And I didn't hear that he left behind 6 kids, so that makes it even more heartbreaking. So that's it.
David? As chairman of personnel and safety, can't say any better than Ms. Farina and the mayor did when it comes to Destiny Hirschberger and her appointment as a full-time firefighter, EMS, and paramedic. Excited to have that as part of our team. And as you can tell from tonight's attendance, it is a team. It's a she stated. The other thing I want to mention is, as we just in our third reading of ordinance 40/2024 in the sewer, I took a walk last night. Walk out in front of your property. Sewers are covered with debris. It would be a big help to uncover them so you can walk the drain. Thank you. We won't have some flooding issues.
And don't blow your grass in the street in the middle of the lawn.
That's my report.
Much of that. That's here to say. Thank you. Melissa.
Yeah, echo everything that you all just said about the mayor sharing that message. I also wanted to thank everyone from the administration team and the fire department who attended that first session, talking about the fire department. I thought it was awesome for the first session, and everybody from the public who attended stayed afterwards and did talk to people and ask questions. And so Ben's right that it's really a good opportunity to ask questions. I had a chance to share it with another group that I'm a part of, and I had a lot of people say like, oh, I didn't know this or that, or I had this or that question. And so it really is a good opportunity. And so anybody that we know, it's always good to just make sure that we share that message, that that's an opportunity for them. And because that ability to ask questions is a good way to kind of set the record straight on some of those. And I appreciate you working on another presentation where people can watch that information at their leisure. Because they really do watch the videos that we post on YouTube and connect with those messages. So just thank you to everybody who works so hard. That's it.
Christina.
So I'm a week late, but I just want to say congratulations, Administrator Farina. I'm so sorry that I wasn't here last week to see you be sworn in. I'm just really excited to see what you're going to do. I know what you're going to do, so really excited, and congratulations, definitely earned. In addition to that, I did get to go to Dogwood Pool last week and with Catherine and Brian Hill and look at some of the improvements that have been made there. Not a lot of money was spent at all. A lot of things were done by our in-house teams, but there are some really nice improvements to the locker room facilities, some flooring, signage. Things are just cleaned up, and they were needed. So, and also just kudos to Brian and Catherine and the whole administration team for making sure that the liner was repaired early this year. Now that we know that there's an issue, we know to get that done quickly. So the fact that we're opening on the day that we're supposed to be opening is just really exciting. And that is Saturday. I believe it opens on Saturday. And then what date does Arrowhead open, Catherine? Friday? Okay. And
You got to go down in the pump room.
I did get to see the pump room and yeah, and we replaced one of the things that was an issue that's been ongoing because there were no longer replacement parts for it, so that's exciting. So yeah, I'm excited. That's all.
Thank you. Try not to be too repetitive, but yeah, it certainly showed sentiments that we expressed, Mayor. Congratulations to the Hoover. That's 6 seconds. So, but that's all I've got. Take it. So, meeting schedule coming up. We don't have a meeting this coming Monday. Then on the 3rd, we have a committee of the whole. And then a public hearing on ordinance 35-124 and regular city council. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
That's why the